Hello, friends. Welcome back to part 2 of our 3-part series on Sizzling Summer Success. And so let's see, when you're listening to this, it will have been, today's Friday, and you will have just listened, hopefully, to part 1 at some point this week. And today, you are going to hear from 2 phenomenal leaders. I am so excited because you are going to hear from Dawn Pantoja. So Dawn is in the jewelry space. She has had a ton of success in this industry and is like a booking machine. So if you are looking for ideas and suggestions on how to have a really strong calendar month after month after month, but especially throughout the summer, right? She gives some really good ideas in this recording. So you're going to get to hear that in just a few minutes. And then right after her, I am going to be playing the second video, and that is with Megan Elliott. And so she is in the health space and just really shares some tangible tips on how to practically run a business when it is the summer as a mother, right? So like balancing, being a mom and your business and prioritizing both. And so these women are incredible. I'm so excited that you're tuning in today. And as always, don't forget to subscribe and pass this podcast episode or any that you listen to along to your business bestie, your team, your upline, whoever you can think of that you know could benefit. And don't forget to come back on Tuesday for part 3 of our Sizzling Summer Success Series. Welcome to the Kingdom Minded Mompreneur, where we, Becky
and Monique, your new biz besties, both busy moms just like you.
We're here to talk all things network marketing, mom life, and how to truly live out your calling. We'll be dropping 2 episodes each week to help you, the busy mompreneur, know the exact strategies to build both your business and your home. You'll hear each week from one of the top network marketers on their best tips for what's led to their success and what's working now.
We know that you're here because you are called to something more. You have a desire to succeed in both your business and at home, and we are going to teach you how. If you love what you hear here on the podcast and want to be one of our success stories, join us inside our community, the Kingdom Minded Mompreneur, where we provide a daily social media action plan, additional resources, kingdom coaching, and more. Click the show notes for the link to join. So let's get into the episode.
Good afternoon, ladies. It is 12 o'clock. And I am so excited to be here. Becky asked me to share a little bit about getting events on your calendar and keeping bookings and hostesses and all of those things. So I am so excited to be here and to share with you guys today. My name is Dawn Pantoja. I have been doing direct sales for about 12 years. I'm in the jewelry business. And I just wanted to share with you guys some things that work for me and that maybe you guys can start implementing, or if you already do it, keep continuing with it. So I am going to start. Hi, Genevieve, how are you? Anyway, I'm going to get started so we don't keep you guys too long. But the first thing I want to say is that when it comes to hosting and or getting shows on your books in the party planning, the party side of the business, I want to say first thing is I'm always very genuine and I keep it very personal. So one of the keys that I do is every day on Facebook, I will message ladies who's their birthday, if it's their birthday, and just wish them a happy birthday and hope that they're doing something fun for the day. If I do miss it for some reason, if like world gets in the way, I do go back and I do belated. It's just something that I feel like they'll see. Messenger is an amazing thing in the Facebook land that I feel like they will be able to see it. 9 out of 10 times I do get a response if it's a thank you, or if it's oh, this is what we did, or this is what we're doing, spending the day with the kids or whatever. So then what I do is I try to cultivate and reestablish those relationships. I really feel like when it comes to getting bookings, getting things on your calendar, being personal with them and kind of sharing a little bit of you, is a great way to establish those relationships. And that's kind of what you need. And I'll go a little bit further into that. But what I do is I spark a conversation and I keep the conversation going for a day or two, just to let them know that, I am interested in what they were doing, because I think it's fun to sometimes you get ideas for yourself and things to do. So I think it's a great way to keep that personalization, personalized thing going with people. So in addition to that, what I will do is periodically after I do that, I will go in, and if I see, because what Facebook is going to do then is they're going to push their timeline stuff in front of me now that I'm personal with them, right? So what I usually do is I'll then go message them again a couple weeks later and say, oh, I saw, that you were so-and-so, or that you were here or there, or whatever. Hopefully you had a great time. And just keep that rapport going back and forth. Then after a couple months or a month or so, what I do is then I will ask them if jewelry is an interest of theirs, if they're interested in jewelry. Now, again, I do a lot of Facebook shows too. I don't do just in-home parties. So I do a lot of online shows too. So for me, I'm able to connect with anybody anywhere. So I can then do the ask basically and ask them if they're interested in doing a jewelry show with me. I'd love to spoil them in jewelry and all of the things. So that is one way that I try to keep my relationships going on Facebook. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. The next thing is I will always rebook with my hostess at an event. If it's an online event, if it's an in-home event. Hi, Becky. Hi, Caitlin. Hi, Dawn. So if it's an in-person event, or if it is a online event, I always rebook with my hostess, even if it's a 6-month out. What I try to do then is just stay in touch with them, reach out to them like once a month, once every few weeks. If, like I said, like if I see something on social media, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, that they're doing something fun, I'll just reach out to them and stay in front of them. And then about a month before, I'll reach out and say, just wanted to make sure that our date is still good for your event, say 6 months out. Usually they're fine with it. Usually everything goes as planned. The only reason that I do rebook is because I always tell them the new catalog's coming out and I would love to get you on the calendar in 6 months or so that you can see the new stuff. So it's very easy to do that, only because then you're booking out 6 months in advance and your calendar's filling on the second round of your catalog for the year. So that's one of the things that I always try to do. When I am at an event, I will offer an incentive, like maybe $25 in free jewelry at the event if they would like to book an event with me. I do not give them the free until their event, just in case it doesn't hold. So I very, very much try not to give away something that I know isn't going to possibly hold. So unless I know the person, I usually just wait until their event, and then I either have them pick something for that, value, or they can get that off of whatever if they're ordering something. So for themselves. So that's what I try to do. That's another great way to incentivize bookings at an event, and that is included in online and or in home. One other thing that I try to do, if I'm at any type of vendor show, I try to do a giveaway to collect information. So I will have on my sheet, if they're interested in hosting an event, either online or in person, I would be happy to connect with them. So I kind of do a scale. So I do 1 to 5 on how much they really want to do it, right? So that kind of gives me an idea. Sometimes if they are a 1 and they're not really interested, then I'll just kind of, reach out to them and thank them for coming to the event, thank them for, being a part of my drawing, my giveaway. And then sometimes when you start building those relationships, sometimes they're like, oh, well then maybe, I will do one. So just again, relationships is the key to hosting. The relationships is the key to building your calendar. Just keep those relationships and the communications moving. One other thing, like I just said, keep in contact with your hostesses after you do have her on your calendar, even if it is 6 months out. I do send out snail mail to my hostesses that are that far out. I'll send them something like, I appreciate you, a card, or hope you're doing well, or just anything. Just something, and maybe like a sticker, or can't wait till our show in May, or, May to now is July, or whatever, so that they know that I'm still there, right? Staying in front of them is key. Making sure that they know that you're not, nothing's worse than having somebody come to you 2 weeks before when you booked out 6 months and say, hey, are you ready for your show? And they're going to be like, oh gosh, I forgot that it was in 2 weeks. So you just want to stay consistent and stay in front of them. Let's see. I do send out messenger messages to them periodically too. Just thinking of you, saw that you posted this, and again, in front of them. So those are great ways to stay, in front of them and keep that communication moving. So another thing that I do is I hostess coach. Hostess coaching for me, I think, does a lot to keeping people on my calendar and booking my events and doing all of those things. Hostess coaching, I think, is a great way to partner up with your hostess. So what I try to do, and again, I do a lot of online shows, what I try to do is I either try to meet with them locally if they are local, or I do an in-person Zoom call. And the reason that I love to do Zoom or FaceTime or something where they can actually see me, because I want them to see the passion that I have for partnering up with them in doing an event. I don't want them just to be, through a text message, because again, through Messenger or text message, you can't always convey what you want as if they were to hear you or see you talking to them, right? So I, give them the information that they need. I send them the invitations. I do all of those things so that they can reach out to their people. I do still, and I know this is probably very old school, if it is local, I do still send out physical snail mail invitations. I know that it's crazy, but I'm very old school, I guess. And I think people love to see that kind of stuff. And I think it draws them more to attending and keeping, the parties on the books. So people love to get that rather than bills. So I think it's just kind of something fun to do. What I do also do with my hostesses is I try to support them any way that I can. I don't just do the hostess coaching and then just leave them. I reach out to them every few days. I just ask them, how are things going? Do you have any RSVPs yet? All of those things. So once you got that on the calendar, just stay in touch with them. Keep it personal, keep it fun, do all of those things. I do also do parties where there's a theme, which again might be old school direct sales, but I do themed parties. I love them. I think they're so much fun. I even sometimes do themed online parties because again, if we can all dress up and be in our PJs online, then maybe we can, I can be in my PJs too, which I'm more comfortable in anyway. But anyway, so it's just something fun to think about, but I just want to leave you guys with this. I hope some of this helps you. Just keep in mind that you want your hostesses to become your friends in the long run and your forever customers. Sometimes people host and then they can't host for a while because of some reason or another, or they move out of state or something like that. So just know that you want your hostesses to become your customers. You want to treat them with have the most fun with them. You want to treat them the way that you would want to be treated. You want to be intentional. You want to be personable. And then God's going to do the rest for you. So I just want to thank Becky and Monique and all of the ladies here as part of this group. And thank you for allowing me to share. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. You guys have a great rest of your day and take care. Bye-bye.
Hey everyone, I am Megan. I am a homeschool mom of 3. I've run a photography business for 17 years, which makes me really old. That's a little bit more a thing of my past, but I've actually always worked at home with kids. And so I am excited that they had me here today to share some tips on how to work your business this summer and be really intentional in your business and intentional at home with your babies, because we all know time is a thief and they get big so fast. And we only have 18 summers with them. And so, yeah, it's crazy. And I know it can be a crazy time, and people are busy, and there's vacations, and there's reunions, and there's sports, and there's picnics, and all of the things. I actually feel like for me, summer is a little bit more of my wheelhouse, because as a homeschool mom, we have a little bit more flexibility then. But I wanted to share. So I have like 10-ish tips for you. It's kind of like 11. But number one is that kids can be your reason or they can be your excuse. And you've probably heard that before. But I would really take a few minutes to like dig deep into your why you're doing this, and do not lose sight of it, because it's going to, whatever it's going to do for your family, your kids, your future, matters. And that's why you even started it. So don't lose sight of the why, the deep why of what it is going to do for you and your family. Because if you don't, it's going to be really easy to just brush it off and be like, oh, I'll get to it tomorrow. Oh, I'll get to it tomorrow. This is busy. We have so much going on. And then before you know it, it's been a week and you haven't touched a thing. And then you kind of fall off the horse and you've lost sight of your why. So keep it in the forefront, put it on your computer, make it the lock screen on your phone, like wherever you need to put it, that it's going to be a reminder. Maybe you set like a little alarm on your phone every day that's going to remind you, like, this is why, like, dig in, Megan, this is why, this is what you're going for. But the seeds that you plant this summer and all of the work that you do now that's what you're going to harvest this fall. And so make sure you revisit that. Number two, decide that it's a priority. And like, this is not just like, make it a priority, like decide, like this is like brushing your teeth, this is like showering, this is like working out, this is just what you do. And so you have to decide and put a line in the, stake in the ground, a line in the sand. It's non-negotiable, and that this is what you're going to do. Because if you don't, and you're not intentional about that, it's not going to happen. Like you don't get where you want to go on accident. So that is number two. Number three, set a schedule and time block. So I know, like, my kids are a little bit older now, and so some of you have little kids, some of you have big kids. And so it just depends on what your schedule is going to look like. But I would take time either at the beginning of the month, at the beginning of the week, take a look at your week and what you have going on, and then actually block the time for your business. And I know you hear this like all year round. I mean, you do this anyways, but I think in the summer it's especially important, because it's crazy and kids come and they're in your house and they need something and want something and they have questions and they want to do this and they want to do that, and so's here. And so there's going to be all these things that just like come at you, and like it's not quiet. Like, I feel like that's something that's really hard for me at my house, is like I have to kind of like go down in the basement and find a quiet space, or I can't think. So look at your calendar, make space for where you're going to be able to work. Maybe it's in the morning before they get up. Maybe it's like in the morning while they're awake and they can just kind of read or go play or do something like, I don't know, artistic or whatever, entertain themselves for a while. But that is your time to work. But if you do not put it on the calendar and block it out and be intentional, it will slip away from you. And when you think about it, like, we really don't need that much time to work our businesses. And so if we all can find an hour or two, depending on what your goals are, we can all find an hour or two in the day to do our work. And if you have clarity, it doesn't even take that long. So I think, like a thing that might be helpful for you, I feel like this helps me, is if every night before I go to bed, if I like look at what I need to do the next day and I kind of make myself a list, so that I don't come to my desk and sit there and be like, oh, where do I start? And then I'm overwhelmed and then I don't do anything. But if I have kind of like a list of what I need to do that next morning, then I can come and I have the list, and then I can just like do the thing and check boxes. So I know that really helps me. Number 4 is to get their buy-in and get them invested in your goal. They need to know why you're working. They need to know what's in it for them, what you need them to do so that you can hit your goals. And then I think celebrating wins with them. So, maybe that's like going to get ice cream at the end of the week, when you like enroll a certain amount or book a certain number of parties, or whatever it is for you, or even just because they gave you the space to work and they didn't interrupt you. So celebrate all the wins, like the little ones, the big ones. Maybe it's a trip to the water park for like a bigger goal that you meet. But let them be a part of it and part of the celebration in that, so that they feel like they're a part of it. And I think that's huge. On that note, just trust your kids are going to have an amazing summer no matter what. And so you choosing to work your business is not ruining them. It's not ruining their summer. There's so much fun to be had, and you're going to be the mom who shows up to have all the fun. As like a homeschool mom, I will say, like, they're going to be fine and they can entertain themselves. And so I know mom guilt is heavy. There's always mom guilt about something. But my kids are honestly like so creative, and they come up with the best ideas when I'm like, go do something. Like, I need this time, like, go figure it out. And then my house might look like a wreck, but they're building forts and they're using their imaginations, and they just come up with ideas. And so just know, like, they're going to have a great summer. It's okay for them to kind of entertain themselves. Maybe find some things that they're into, like arts, crafts, building things, or work outside. Go work outside on the deck, and then they are playing outside, and you're like there, and you can still get done what you need to do. A movie isn't going to kill them. Just, you have to let go of the mom guilt. You can have play dates. I know my kids are like super like entertained when they have kids over, and they play really nice, and they don't really like come need me for anything. And so that's another thing you could do. Another thing, even just like get them to do chores. Like my kids yesterday were actually like repainting our doors. Our house is over 100 years old. They were excited about it, and I'm like, win-win. Like, I got them the green light cards, and so I'm like, you could actually have them like do different chores around the house and pay them for it. There's so many things, and I think ways to involve them, and that is my next one, is to involve them in your work. They can, depending on their ages, right? I mean, they could send handwritten notes. They could package some samples, make graphics. My daughter, actually, I'm teaching her Canva, and she is loving it, and that is a tremendous help to me. They could make a chart that like every order they like color in a thing, or like put a post-it note with a name. But I think if you just get them involved in what you're doing, they're excited, they're cheering you on. And if they feel involved, they're supportive. The next one, number 7, is to meet with your runners, to map out their goals and help them set summer expectations. I think that especially if they're newer, they don't really know, right, what they're about to walk into, and it's easy to just, it's seasonal. Like if you're at a point where you're not making like a ton of money, but you have big goals, but it's not like life changing, it's really easy to just be like, oh, just, I'll catch up in the fall. So help your people to be proactive instead of reactive. So sit down with them, hone back into their why, get that in the forefront of their mind, and then help them to set some goals that are realistic for them, that they feel like they can stick to, and then be there for accountability for them, and check in with each other, and remind them what they told you, and why they wanted it. Number 8 is know that your team might be quiet, but you don't have to be. If you're doing the things, they're more likely to be doing the things. You're going to inspire them. You're going to show them what's possible. And when you're doing the things, you're actually going to really just kind of eliminate all of the excuses that they have about summertime, because you're like, well, I'm doing the thing, and so you're going to show them what's possible. I know that there's trends in the industry where like sales are down, sales are up, but like a trend is not a sentence, and there are people that rank up every month of the year. And so there are possibilities out there. So don't take the summer as like it has to be a slump, because it doesn't have to be a slump. And then number 9, I'm almost done. I'm like, sorry, thank you, is be summer social. And so with that, do more in person, because you're doing more in person. People are out and about like everywhere. So park dates, play dates, be at the pool. I mean, there's sports. And just at those things, you're going to network like a boss. So meet moms, strike up conversations. And I would say always be repping your company, whether it's like you have a hat or a bag or your cup, like always have something that has your company name, and that helps bring up conversations, and people might be, so use that, and always have something with you that represents your company. Another thing is, I learned this when I was heavy in the photography industry, we'd do a lot of networking events. But like, if there's something that you can wear that would make you stand out a little bit. Like, I used to go to networking events and I'd have my hair up in this little thing, and I'd have this cute little like flowery like clip thing that I put in. But I feel like things that stand out help people to remember you. So I don't know if it's like a hot pink shirt or like hot pink bag, but like do something that you kind of stand out, and people will remember you. They're more likely to remember you. And then connect with those people on social media. Try to find them, connect with them, text them, find them on Instagram, Facebook, wherever your place is. And then on social media, be consistent. That is the door to your business, and you want to keep your business open. And so if that means like your kind of like, what do they call it? When you just like batching, like batch a bunch of your content for that so you don't have to think about it. Maybe that's one of your work mornings. If that's what you do because you want to stay consistent there and let people know that the store is open, you want to keep the trust with your audience. So make sure you're consistent showing up in social media. You never know who wants what you have, and when they need it, right? And it just might be the time. If you have products that are great in the summertime, like I'm thinking, I know there's a lot of Pampered Chef connected to you all in this group. I don't know, things for like grilling and barbecue and like summer type like Tupperware and fun serving things. Like, I mean, what a great time to market a lot of that stuff. I know for me, we have like a drink that's hydration, so it's great for hot summer days and sports and kids sports. So if there are things that are really great in this particular season, like market the crap out of them. Because remember, everything you do now is just planting seeds for your fall harvest. And then just number 10, I have follow up like a boss. Like, it might be quiet. People might not be as responsive, but don't be discouraged by the quiet. You're connecting with them, care about them, build relationships, follow up with people, but then love them. Like, love people really well, serve people really well, make relationships a priority, let them know that you're thinking about them. Be curious about their lives, like the things that you normally do, don't lose sight of any of those. And then the last one, which is truly the most important one, is prayer. Makes me want to cry. Like, it's a kingdom strategy. You have a kingdom business. So pray for your business, pray for your runners, pray for your customers, and pray that God would lead you to the right conversations, the right people in his timing. He owns a cattle on 1,000 hills. Everything is his. He could double your business in the bat of an eye, because that is nothing to our God. And so having him as your cornerstone, your centerpiece, your everything, like, that is number one. If you don't do any of the other ones, like, that is the heart of everything. Stay close to his heart and ask him to direct your steps as you go this summer, so that you can love and serve your family well and love and serve your clients well, and he will bless your obedience. So that's all I have. I mean, the bottom line is really, it is so much easier to stay in movement than it is to stop and then get started again. And so just keep going and don't lose sight of your goals, and keep your team going as much as you can, because it is so much easier to just stay in movement than it is to stop and start and stop and start. So thank you for having me. I hope this was helpful. I hope you have a great day, and more so, an amazing summer.
Thanks so much for listening to the Kingdom Minded Mompreneur. If you loved what you heard today, could you stop and give us a 5-star rating and review? It helps our visibility on podcasting platforms, so others like you can hear more of this message.
Also, if this episode encouraged you, we would love for you to pass it along to your own biz bestie and anyone else who could benefit. Lastly, don't forget that if you want to hang out with us just a little bit more, join us inside the Kingdom Minded Mompreneur community. Click the link in the show notes. Bye for now.